Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the Lab 2. In this lab, I will have a quick overview of the Lab 1 about the configuration and installation of Wireshark and network monitor. And in Lab 2, I will also demonstrate how to do the Lab 2, especially for the task 1. And then I will talk about the report, like the format, what we need to pay attention to in the report, and how to do the submission. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's go ahead. So at first, I'll just talk about me. My name is Ray Lee. I'm also a postgraduate student, and it's my last year. So, uh, so I attend this course last year and got HD, and now I'm working with Professor Mahab with the research program, which is related to the Wi-Fi detection. I'm very interested in the area of mobile service networking since I used to work for China Unicom, which is the 5th largest mobile service provider around the world. So I just took all the network courses, including COMP 9331, computer network and applications, and this course, as well as other related course. That's this little thing about me, and I also prepare a GitHub to us, and we may find it useful. I just open it here. You can see it at first is the timetable. So you basically you are just feel free to join any tutorial if you want. For example, you feel I don't have time today to join this tutorial. Maybe you can just join another one or just have a look of the recording. And I will also leave some like the general hints in the GitHub link, so you may find it useful. Okay, so I will leave the URL in our chat. I'll send it here. Okay, so let's have a quick review of the Lab 1. Lab 1 is basically two stuff: the installation and the basic operation of Wireshark. Let me open the PDF file here. So what you need to do is just simply following the instruction here to do the installation, downloading, or something like that. And that's all. I will just have a very quick demonstration of that one. So I don't think I need to describe how to install it, right? Because you just simply click the download link and then you're good to go. But if you are using the Windows 10 as your operating system, you may need to install the Microsoft Network Monitor. So why we need to install it? Because if you just simply capture the packets in Windows, like through the Wireshark, you may find it, oh, it seems working, right? My mic has some problem. You are using the Wireshark to capture the packets in Windows. You may find it's also working, but what is the problem is that we cannot find any wireless information, which is 802.11 protocol information inside the packets. But if you want to capture that kind of packets, you need to use the Microsoft Network Monitor to do that. Here is an example for that. So this file is the file that captured by the network monitor. Let's see. You can see, you can find the 802.11 radio information inside the packets, right? So that's the reason why we need to install this software to help us to capture in Windows 10. After the installation, oh, I also want to mention about how to do the installation in Linux. Because if you open the website, here you can find nowhere to install the Linux version, right? So all you need to do in Linux is run the command line like this. Use the terminal. So you basically using the apt command to install it. You can use apt update to update the version of your apt command. So it took some time. So for the why we need to do the update is because we need to make sure we will get the latest version of the Wireshark. It's too slow. I just aborted here. And we can use apt show Wireshark to have a look of the version of Wireshark. It's 2.6. Looks good. And then we can use the apt command to install it. Apt install Wireshark. Okay, so it's done. Then we can run the Wireshark command. And then we are good to go. So that's how we install the Wireshark in Linux. It's basically the same. And yeah, I think that's all. Okay, so let's come to the basic operation of Wireshark. How to load the file. Like I open my Wireshark here. How to open file? It's very simple. Just left click the file and open it. Open, right? And select the file you want, or just simply drag a file into the Wireshark. So that's the way how can we load the file. And the filtering is more interesting. You can find it very useful when you handling our task. For example, you want to, I would like to say, select the destination. Like I want to select all the destination, which is Apple. So how can you do that? So because we don't know any syntax of the filter, right? We are not able to like destination equal to something else. We don't know how to do that. But if you don't know that, that's okay. You don't even know, you don't even need to go to the website and watch the documentation. Just click it. Like I will find the information here, Apple, right? Just find it. Look around inside the package. Okay, and you can find it here. It's receiver address, right? So we right click it and apply as a filter. You can see apply as a filter. You recommend us, which is wlan.ra, receive address equal to this one, this MAC address. And then we are able to apply the filter to here, right? And sometimes you may have Like another problem is how to connect the filter, the condition of filter. For example, you want to apply a filter which is WLAN dot SSID equal to this one. So we just find all the filter, find all the SSID which is equal to COMP 4336 here. And we also want to apply another condition. So let's say this one. Then how can we connect them together? It's very similar to the program language. Use this symbol to connect them together. But there is no results because they do not have. Maybe apply another one. Let's say the time, okay? Or another stuff like the data rates. You can also apply as a filter and select it. You can see they can connect them together. So you don't even need to have a look of the documentation. Just use your mouse and click it. You will be able to apply all the filter you want. And next one is how to create a column. For example, I want to create a column over there, which is about the noise. Just right click it and apply as a column. It's all here. Just simply click it. You'll find a new column over here. Is that okay? And if you don't want it anymore, just right click it. You can hide it and you can show it again. And right click it to delete it. Delete it. Okay, simple as that. And the last one is output as a CSV file. Just click the file here and then export packet desertions as CSV. So you will be able to output the data over here into a CSV file. So at first we can apply a filter, then we can export as a CSV file. This. Let's save into our desktop. Then we can find it here. Okay. Do you have any question related to Lab 1? Like you find some trouble on the installation or configuration, some stuff? Will there be a recording of this lab posted? Yes, of course. Do you remember the GitLab I shared? Let me open it. Yeah. You can see there is a timetable about the Zoom link and recording link. I will upload the recording after this tutorial into the link. So you'll be able to find it online and watch again. And I'm also trying to make some short video about the key steps of the task. So you don't need to watch the whole long tutorial again. I will put some video over here to help you to do the key steps of the task, so which may save you times. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the lab 2. Let's have a look. What do we need to do at lab 2? So in lab 2 is quite simple. I think this lab is the most easiest one that you need to do. It's basically what we learned at lab 1 to just do some filtering and output and then generate a graph and put some commendation on it, comment on it. Let's have a quick look. In task 1, we are required to download a file from this link. And then we are required to apply a filter to figure out which packet is from the SSID equal to this string, COMP4336. SSID is the name of the hotspot. And then it have a small description about how this file has been collected. It's basically moving around the hotspot. I mean, the hotspot different, the distance from hotspot and the laptop is different during this time. And that's all. So what we need to do is plot some graphs, including the signal strength, noise, and signal to noise ratio. And then we do the do some comments on that graphs. So there are 5 steps to do this task. Let me show you. So the first step is import the file into Wireshark. Just open it. And then what we need to do next is do the filtering. It asks us to, let's say, to do this one. To find the SSID equal to this one. So we just simply click the information here and find the SSID if we can find it. You can see the data here. No, not here. Can have a quick look if we can find the SSID information. The SSID. Okay, sometimes we cannot find it. That's okay. So we can have a look of the documentation to filter the SSID. The command is wlan .ssid equal to the string. You can see after the filter applied, there are 176 packets displayed here. Sorry. So after the filter applied, we are able to do another thing, like the next step, add signal strength, noise level, and SNR columns, right? So how to apply them is just find them inside the package. Where is the SS? It's over here. We can find them at first and right click it and apply as a new column. You can see a new column over here. And then noise level, we do the same. Right click it and apply as new column. And signal to strength, signal to noise ratio, apply as a column. Okay. So we have add 3 columns in the table. So what's next is next step. Export as a CSV file. Just click the file, export desertions as CSV. So we save it as output.csv. And then we can open it through the Excel. And we need to plot a graph over here. So let me show you how to do this. In Excel, it's pretty simple. Just simply copy the column we need to a new table. And then we need to convert this string into float. Basically, what we need to do is just remove the dbm here. But we cannot remove by our hand because it's too much. So we use the data text to columns to help us to do this. You can use the delimited of space and click finish. And we can simply remove it by these tools and delete the unnecessary columns. Let's call it signal strings. And then we are able to generate a new graph. Yeah, line plot here. But we want our time as our x-axis instead of a single line here. So we just simply click and hide it, apply, and then right click it, select data here, select the signal strings and edit the x-axis as our time, and then click OK. You can see the x-axis is the time now. Yeah. And all you need to do is just fix the title and the units on x-axis and y-axis. Just tell us what is your x-axis and y-axis and the unit of it. Is that okay? You can click done and make it beautiful. And that is all you need to do. Something like this. Sorry, it's ugly. We need to add this condition to WLAN FC type subtype. You're trying to like filter the type of the connection, right? Yeah, looks good, but just make sure you having the right. I think you are doing the filtering about the 902.11 packet, right? So you can also do something like this. Go to 2 and also apply filter like related to this one. To apply the filter of AO 2.1 protocol. Yeah, you can do that, but just follow the steps of the specification is the most good. I think it's the safest way to do that. But you can also do that, like you can use a AND connection and just make sure you can get the same packet amount. That'll be good. So what we need to do in here, just strictly follow the steps. For example, you can plot like 3 graphs into one graph. You only plot one graph, including all the signal strengths and noise and signal to noise ratio. I can't say you are wrong, but you didn't follow the instruction in the lab of the task. So, but for me, it's okay. I think it doesn't really matter because we are just looking for how much effort have you put on the lab. We do not care much about the specification. Okay. So do you have another question related to the task one? Or maybe I can also show you how to plot the graph with Python or something. So you can use every tools that you like to plot the graph. Like here, I can new one. Can use pandas and seaborn to help us to plot. Like we use pandas to load the CSV file that we have. Read CSV, and our file name here is out to CSV. Have a look. Okay. So we can see our tables here. So what we need to do is very similar. Just extract the number from the signal strings. I would like to use a function here to help us to do this thing. I can define extract function which put the signal strings, which is a string, and will output a float. So it simply return a float of signal string dot strip dbm. We've done its job. Just have a look of it. Extract is just copy it. It will return the number inside it. Okay. And we can use the data frame string dot replace is easier. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'm not really good at pandas. So we use the data frame. We apply extract. So we are able to convert all the string into float, and we save it as a new column. Let's call it SS. So have a look of our new data frame. So I extract all the floats from the string here as a new column. Then we are able to plot it. We use seaborn. Data is our data frame, and the x-axis is time, and y-axis is the SS. Sorry. We used seaborn dot line plot. We are going to plot a line plot. And that's our plot. And we may also need to like add some title in it. AX that dot title equal. It's not callable. Then maybe it's not something like this. Maybe it's something like this. Then we can plot it with the matplotlib. So anyway, you can discover by yourself to set the title and the x-axis and y-axis with the unit. Or you can just simply use the Excel to do this stuff. It depends on you. So we don't need your code, including in your report. So all you need to do is just generate this kind of graph and make it looks good. And that's all. So that's our task one. Do you have any question related to that? Okay, seems good. Let's go to the task two. Here are some sample plots of mine, so you can have a look of it. But I'm not saying you have to be the same as mine. I'm just have a look and but we might be very similar, right? And we use tools that directly convert CSV to graph. Of course, we can. We are not required to like do any kind of programming stuff in the lab. All we need is this kind of graph. We don't care how you generate this kind of graph. You can even like draw by yourself with your hand. So as for output CSV file with Wireshark, do I need to select the packet range, capture or display? I don't know what you mean, but in the CSV file, it's filtered. It's already filtered. You can have a look over here. It's only the AO 2.11 packet, which SSID equal to 4336. And other packets are dropped. You can see in the CSV file, I only have like less than 200 packets inside the CSV file. Okay. And let's come to the task two. So what should we do in task two? It's basically the same, but the file, I mean the packet file here, we need to generate one packet file by ourselves. So how to do that? So at first, we need to collect the data by ourselves. So if you are using a Mac and or Linux, it's quite simple. Just open the Wireshark and then do the setup. Choose your wireless network adapter and just simply open the monitor mode here. Monitor mode will be able to open here, but you can see my operating system is Windows 10, so I'm not able to open it in here. So that's why I can't collect the AO 2.11 protocol packets in with my Wireshark. So after open it, you will be able to collect the raw AO 2.11 protocol packets here. So if unfortunately you are using the Windows 10, we need to use the Microsoft Network Monitor. So just open it and select the interface to only Wi-Fi because we only need Wi-Fi to collect the data, right? And you can double check of your IP address here. And then click New Capture. So click the button here or press F5 to start the capture. You can see there are some packets showing here. Or you can, before the capturing, you can also like run a command to ping your hotspot. Like I would say, this is the address of my host. So I just keep pinging it, like set a number of 100. Keep pinging it and start to capturing. Which this one will help me to like increase the traffic between my computer to the router. Open the auto scroll, and all you need to do is, unlike me, I'm just sitting here and keep talking, but you need to hold in your mobile phone, which is your hotspot, to move around at your space at your home. Like I'd say you move around for a minute and then you come back and stop. And then let's just save this file into our desktop. Let's say Lab2. And then we are able to use it to use Wireshark to open it. Let me find where's the file. Open Lab2. You can see here, because I'm using the Windows 10, so there are no packet information related to the SSID, which is very normal. So don't be panic if you cannot find the SSID inside the packet. That is normal. And you can also notice that there's no noise level, right? And there's no signal to noise ratio here. So in Windows 10, we are not able to capture this information with the tools because our network interface is not support us to do this. So just don't worry about that. We just use the signal strength to generate our plot and do the commentary. It will be good. So if you have like other question, you can ask in this tutorial and at any time, or just post it on the forum. What you need to do is just basically the same, apply a filter at first. But this time we are not able to apply a filter because we don't have any information related to the SSID. So in here, maybe we need to apply a filter of the source and destination. Like, let's find it. Let's use the IP BST. And then let's see here. How can we apply a filter here? The destination address. This seems good. Here. Because my computer's IP address is 192.16.1.8. Then I just use this as my package to generate the report. That will be fine, I guess. You can see I didn't move around. So my signal strength will keep the same level, didn't move much, didn't change much. But if you keep moving with your computer, you should able to observe the signal strength will be different during as long as you are moving. Okay, so what you need to do is just describe how you move, like as you are moving as required in Lab2. Let's open the where is our PDF? You can see the task 2 asks us to like move like this, move it away slowly from the laptop, and then slowly bring it back. Okay, just move like this and capture the file like me, and generate the plot after this and write a commentary for that. You will get a full mark. So don't worry if you cannot capture the noise level and signal noise ratio in Windows. But if you are using a Linux or Mac, that will be excellent if you can generate all the graphs. Is that okay? So any question related to that? So if I use Windows 10, providing only signal strength is okay? Yes, absolutely. Just tell us you are using Windows 10 and you are only be able to use capture the signal strength. But you also need to plot the signal strength graphs and write the comment on that. So if you like fail to do the configuration or due to some technical problem which you think is not your fault, you can also mention it on the report. We will not be so too harsh to you. So just don't worry too much about the lab. If you just following the task and spend your time on it and learn something, you will be fine. Okay, so let's go to the submission part. For the lab 1, we don't need to do any kind of submission, but for the lab 2, we are required to do the submission at before next Monday, I think. And you should submit your report at the Moodle. All the stuff you need to submit is in here, a PDF report, as well as the zip file, including your CSV file and the CSV and trace file here. It's very clear on the specification here. So just follow the instruction and submit it. And like, as I mentioned before, if you fail to capture the packets in task 2, for any kind of reasons, just don't be panic. At first, you need to try to figure out by yourself, like you can watching the tutorial recording, or you can ask your friends, or you can also post a problem on the forum, and we will be able to answer you as soon as we can, probably in one day. And if you still have that kind of problem, just report us in your report. They will be fine. Just don't worry too much. We will not be so strict on task 2. And I think that's all. Just enjoy the lab. And about the plagiarism, because we are using the turning in the Moodle when you're making the submission. So just be careful. Do not copy any graph from GitHub or from your friend or from anywhere. And do not borrow anything from others except citation, okay? So just don't copy it and don't change any code with your friend. What is the deadline for this lab? I think it's the next Monday. You can have a look in the Moodle on the submission link. Okay, let's go to the format of the report. So to do the report, it should be quite easy. It's a very easy lab, and so as well as the report. So just keep it simple. We don't need you to write a lot of things on the report. Just answer each question, and you will get a full mark. And then just make it clear, and make the format of the fonts and your graphs consistent. And last one is to show us your efforts, which means just show us what you did in the lab. And even you fail to answer one of the question, just show us which kind of problem had you met, and do you try anything to solve this problem, and you can still get some marks, okay? And example of the report should be looks like this. This one is the lab one, the specification of lab one. So what we need to do is just keep your format similar as this one. You can see the title should be like this, and you can use bullet points to answer the question. And if you put a graph, you should put the description of the graph below it. And that's all. If you can keep in this format, but you will not get extra marks for that, but it will help us to give you a better mark. I think that's all for the format. Do you have any question related to that? Oh, sorry. So if you have any question, you can just ask me in here. But what if after the tutorial, you can post it into our forum, or you can just send an email if it's very urgent, like you are not able to submit your assignment or lab before the deadline. So you should be able to send us an email and tell us what happened. But if you just have a general question, the best way to find us is to use the forum or come to the lab. And I think that's all. That's all I have today. So if you have any question, I will stay here until the end of the tutorial. But if you don't have any kind of question, you can just feel free to leave. And one last thing is the GitHub link here. I will share all the stuff to this link, including the key steps of Lab2. So you don't need to like review of the whole lab to waste your time, waste your life. I will put all the key steps as like small video or description here to help you to do the task. Are Windows user required to download the MPCAP library mentioned on GitHub? Of course, you can use that. And if you just missed this tutorial, you can get the tutorial link recording here. I will upload later. And that's all for today. I will stay here until the end. So if you have any question, feel free to open your microphone or send the question into the chat. Or you can also share your screen if you want. Yeah, I will send it. The GitHub link, I will send it into the chat. So that's all for our tutorial. If you have any question, I will stay here. For the task 2, I have used network monitor to get cabs file and used Wireshark to open it. Yeah, and I found there are also SSID condition with my ZID. Can I still use SSID as the filter rather than destination address? Of course. So you are be able to capture the SSID information with the network monitor, which is excellent. So you can just keep using the SSID instead of the destination address. See you next week. Does anyone have any question related to the lab? So if we don't, we can close the tutorial earlier. If you don't have, if you still have some question, just tell me. I will wait here. Okay, see you guys next week.